So we join back in for part two with our adventurers. After the last part, they had rushed over to the Temple of Astera, finding that Joe's condition had worsened. The boils and pustules had grown further over his body, and he had once again vomited a quasit. A strange affliction to have indeed. Upon investigating his equipment, it seems like Joe, at some point in the last few days, had visited one of the mines, and the group headed down there to investigate. However, upon getting to their closest mine, they found it being cordoned off by some officials from the mining guild, the Workers of Mining Guild, and saying that there had been a collapse on one of the newer tunnels. Our group, unperturbed by this, had pushed past taking any liability on themselves and headed into the dark mine. So it is dark in here. The whoosh and the rush of air. Oh yeah, your hands are still lit up, aren't they?
Yeah, baby.
So there is a light cast from Dante, but besides that, there isn't any other light down here, as all the lanterns have been like whooshed out with the rush of air that came after the collapse. Oh yeah, Dante moves through, lighting the candles with his finger. And
for some hot stuff, baby, this evening.
You move down, and the whole area is covered in this like grey, silvery dust. And as you're moving down, you see down like lefts and rights of different tunnels. And this isn't a mine that like goes and drops. It's like a gradual way down, and you can see different offshoots that go a bit steeper and dive to different areas.
I was meant to say, as I was coming into this, I'm wrapping, I don't know, I'll rip some of my material. I'm wrapping something around my mouth and that because I don't want dust in
I was going to ask how dusty it was down here. Is it
it's very dusty.
If there's loads of, even if this is absolutely normal dust and just mud and that,
you
don't want to be inhaling it. So, and as there's likely that you're going to fuck with us, I want none of that in there.
It's so suspicious. But yeah, you were all able to make some makeshift masks. Bit of spare cloth, pulling the cloak.
I've got that lanyard. I'll fashion some more leaves and make it into a.
Yeah. You need like a full cowl for your hood eventually. But yes,
you should bring out kind of like the desert clothes that they normally do, like that mask that comes up.
Yeah, for sure. And you are able to make your way down. You're moving for only maybe 2 or 3 minutes before you come upon what is just like bricks and stone and clearly a collapsed tunnel. All the way, it is all often. So sorry, you move through and get to an area that's like a communal sort of multiple offshoots where you can see they almost collect all the central chunks and then they almost break it out into, and you can see actually sections of stone that looks to be like large gems of unenchanted Zikar sticking out of it.
One thing, well, 2 things actually I wanted to say. So Dante isn't going to just be charging ahead in now. He's always going to be holding the dodge action.
Okay.
And also, to the best as he can, I'm not expecting, I mean, his perception's absolute like shite, but I'm going to keep in I want to smell for sulfur.
Okay, no worries.
The
thing is, so I will even say this: it's disadvantaged anyway because you are masked. So that you know what I mean. So you would have to, and I think it would be disadvantaged anyway because if you pull off the mask, it's dusty as fuck. But either way, so roll me a disadvantaged perception.
If this is in, do I get my advantage for if this is?
I will say that if it is to detect the sulfur, it will be advantage. But roll both and tell me both.
Oh.
Because your first one will the normal dice will only affect things that are not extraplanar, right? The advantage dice is then where you can compare for extraplanar stuff.
Disadvantage perception is, I think it's just -1, isn't it? Okay. Yeah, so 6.
Okay.
And advantage perception for fiendish.
Well, sorry, flat roll. It'd make it flat, won't it?
Right. Flat for the fiendish. 17.
Okay, I'll keep that running. Right now, you don't smell anything specifically that sets you off. It just smells like this. And the dust, there's almost like a limestone-esque. It's very chalky almost, the dust that's in the air. And for the others, what are you doing as you move into? So you move into this communal area. You can see there's 3 other continuants, like offshoots, and then there is one on the northeast wall that is completely blocked up.
So I want to check around that entrance, and I know that there's going to be lots of footprints coming and going right around there, but I'm looking for quasit shaped prints or something that could be non-dwarf human.
Make me a survival.
Ichi
and Volu.
though.
I was going to look round the central thing, see if there's anything of significance.
Yeah, give me a perception.
27.
And Ichi?
Ichi, like that as we are kind of like here, I will make a remind of the fact that I have the alert feat, so can't be surprised by anything. But actively, what Ichi is going to be doing is more following along with Eleni, and if they find anything, I'll be ready to use my divine sense.
Okay.
But yeah, mainly aiding Eleni.
Okay, so I don't need you to roll. Eleni with the 27, even though the dust has completely covered this area, mostly covering up anything that was here before. You do notice a few sets of footprints that definitely belong to the dwarf or the Goliath, like the people that exited from here.
Furbolg or the Goliath.
Furbolg, sorry. Yeah. Other than that, you don't see any other footprints, and you are definitely sure, even with Dante mentioning that the quasits sometimes fly, you're not seeing any handprints on the walls, you're not seeing like disturbance, like something with wings landed, even, like a space cleared or anything like that. Volu taking a look around, it just looks like a what you would expect from a mining area. There's nothing odd or anything that sticks out to you. And yeah, like I said, it is like, and not like one solid brick. It is like a massive bits of rock and stone that are sort of spilling out, maybe 5 foot out of the entryway. Ichi, I will say, as you sort of look over it, this is definitely, you can sort of burrow through this. So you're half speed on this this hardness of rock, but also as you're looking, making a hole in this would be very risky. Yeah. It looks like the mine tunnel itself was maybe 5 or 6 feet wide, but 10 foot tall. And again, that's been the same throughout. Again, they have Furbolg miners, they have Goliath miners, and lots of things in the city are made accustomed to bigger creatures. And it is just from the ceiling down collapsed. The door frame is still holding, in terms of, you can see the door frame on your side, but it is just like rock and other debris coming out of it.
With my kind of affinity to the earth and such, looking at where the ground and the cave-in kind of meet, can I tell if it's crushed in a little bit more into the ground? So like, if I was to borrow a tunnel underneath, would that also then cave in?
Yeah, the issue you've got, this is about the support.
Yeah.
So it's the issue with going underneath it
is obviously there's a lot of weight to
there's already the weight on top of it. You would have to go down a considerable amount. And then you've got the issue of
around.
Well, so you look at a few of you sort of like look at the tunnel that's to its right, and you think like, maybe if I go down that tunnel and like towards
diagonal over.
Again, though, the issue that you're having is that, and you've seen these mines all the way down, they are supported and supported and supported.
Yeah.
You, as a creature that can burrow, you don't leave a tunnel, right?
No.
So when you burrow through the earth, you just dig forwards and it collapses behind you and collapses behind you. And you're not digging to preserve a space. If you wanted to make something that the group could move down, you would need the supports. You would need at the very least, and there is the stuff, but it is a process.
That's going to be time.
This is the sort of thing where Ichi, as much as like saving these people, and you're not hearing anything, by the way, of like, you're not hearing any sound or anything else through the rubble. There's no other sounds of the aftershocks or tremors. But there's almost a level of like, if I do this wrong, it gets so much worse.
Yeah.
It could collapse through it. If you dig through from another tunnel, you might collapse into that tunnel. It would be risky. It is not impossible, but it would be risky.
Can we hear anything from the other side of the collapse?
No, you can hear the occasional drip and echoes from around the mine,
shouting
but
for help or any banging or anything.
no.
Are there any boxes?
Yeah, there's like boxes around there. You can see that there's some that have currently got like Zikart ore in them, and there's others that are just empty and ready to be loaded.
Volu. Are any of these boxes like the ones that you saw people carrying?
Go over and have a look.
Take a look, and no, the ones that were being carried were like merchant or gift wrapped, or it was like it made sense for where it was, if that makes sense. It wasn't like a mining box in the middle of the market.
These are nothing like what I saw.
And as you sort of like, you don't feel any, like, obviously you're not feeling anything. You're not like, other than the general dust and it being fairly clammy down here, there's nothing that's like screaming like, oh my God, that's the, you know what I mean? It just seems like it's a very quiet mine. Obviously, you are welcome to explore further and look down the others.
What angle are the other exits at?
So that one was on northeast. The nearest one is on dead east, going, and then there is on the other side northwest and southwest, and then obviously the entrance you came through is dead south.
You've said that where we're kind of at is almost like the communal point.
Yeah, there's well, you've passed through one of these already. This is like the second communal point. But with these sort of mines that dig down slowly, they tend to get to a point, discover ore, follow that ore for as long as it goes, and then they'll, come back, find the next bit of ore, follow it.
Have we gone past any part which, because obviously, when you say communal, are you just meaning a junction, or do you mean a place where people would come and maybe have their lunch?
It's not supposed to be for having their lunch, but it's communal workspace. So there is spaces where people would chip away more, so you've got the basic, you hack away, you pull the ore, you get the pieces, you ship it up this area, they sort of cut away excess rock, see which bits are maybe duds or are not usable. You can see a section of like cast aside stuff. It's almost a sorting area, if that makes sense.
Have we passed any type of office?
No, and it wouldn't be down here. That's like the mine. That's where work as a mining guild is.
Yeah, I just assumed there'd be like a place where you would put all your equipment. People who take up there.
Oh no, I mean there was stations for pickaxes and those sorts of things, but there's not like an office. You know what I mean? Like the guy with a clipboard would bring it.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
You would see a few bits that are like signing on the wall, but it's like a stone slate. You know what I mean? Rather than a piece of paper that would be replaced. And they are currently clean, like they've been finished for the day. You would notice that none of the peeps that were in here previously signed in, but again, they weren't here on like a shift. If from what they were saying, they were here to investigate.
Are we hearing anything?
No, absolutely nothing. Like other than the normal mining sound, like mine drips and bits of rock crumbles. As you're down here, there is a slight shudder, not enough to cause any like strength checks or anything of that kind, but like you would recognize fairly clearly an aftershock
Well, it doesn't look like we're getting through here. Do we want to explore some of the other tunnels, or?
Might be worth it. Go slowly. Be careful.
Stick
We
together.
all split up and do our own tunnels.
You're not splitting up anywhere.
Valid.
As we're kind of like going between each of the supports, Ichi is going to be using their entangling growth. Like I'll be running my hands between them and kind of causing vines to almost cause reinforcements. You know, like when cliff sides, they've got like mesh put over them to stop rocks. Kind of using that to kind of at least reinforce a little bit more.
Okay, yeah.
Just so we don't get stuck in here.
So are we going down the eastern tunnel, which is the closest one, or?
Left.
So the northwest or the southwest. But I would say we don't need to. You can give me each give me a general investigation or perception.
I'll give you a perception.
Dirty 20.
Natural 20 for a 26. Oh,
Nice.
the new dice got from a bloody mystery pack as well. Oh,
And a 21.
14.
You've got +6 on investigation.
on perception.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I was about to say, because I've got +6 on investigation, but I didn't.
Oh, no, my investigation's +0. Good with the senses, not with the brain.
The brain is all I had for 300 years.
There.
Oh,
Playing tic-tac-toe in your mind because
actually
because
quite sad.
you weren't in control.
Okay, so the dirty 20 and the 21.
I only got 14.
Yeah, so and honestly, for even all of you, the rest of it seems genuinely just very. It's a dead, quiet, off shift mind. There doesn't seem to be any sort of weirdness in any of the other places. You see in veins, you see in Zikar crystals. There's some nice areas where like the Zikar is all like positioned nicely, and you can see that they sort of they follow the veins and break through into rooms that are like Zikar crystal, and they like mine away at that sort of thing. And for Ichi,
Can we take any of the Zikar crystals?
I mean, they're unenchanted, but yeah. They're currently in their raw form, so you would still need to sort of clear off any of the rock and process them. So you know that from here, they are sent over to the big processing plants, where they are like cleaned, cut, and enchanted. Well, they're sort of like clean, cut, and prepared, and then they're sent over, and they are enchanted upon placement usually, rather than having a bunch of
install them and then.
Well, you would enchant them, then install them, but it's almost within the same process because once it's on, it's pretty on there. But for so for Ichi, you find down what we're moving down one of the you're down the northwestern path, and some of these do splinter off further, and like not crazy much further, but there's almost points where again they've found this room, then there's a bit of ore going that way and a bit of ore going that way, and they follow those down. But there's almost more pockets, and in one of the as you're sort of moving, just in the wall is like almost sort of submerged a little bit, a small glint of like almost red, maybe a ruby or something. And you like brush away at it, and a fist-sized, uncut, unshaped gem, but it's almost pulsing a little, maybe with like some sort of energy. It's not like floating, and it definitely isn't Zikar. It's like a completely different color.
I'm gonna. God damn it! I don't have identify.
It's not as suspicious at all.
I will detect magic to get the like sense of its school.
I'm just I was gonna
Might
find.
not be magic.
Well, that's yeah. Also to detect if it is in fact magical with its pulsing energy. If it's organic, I'll be even more worried.
Well, and for Ichi, you do know that like it isn't uncommon. Like people talk about finding weird and rare and interesting things down here, and all throughout this mountain range, due to the backlash of Larixa's spell when they tried to contain the chaos of Astera. That backlash created the Zikar, but there are also other pockets of things that were affected and altered by the magic. So, you would see a almost purplish glow, and after focusing on it for a minute, you would see it is abjuration.
Okay.
But other than that, the mine is fairly quiet. And actually, by the time you're starting to finish these searches, you would hear footsteps approaching from the entrance of the mine, and 3 guards would come down and sort of say, "Hello, the mining guild said there were people down here. Are you all still okay?" And they're sort of shouting as they're moving, so you would hear them like from a decent distance away.
As just Ichi, have you told us about the stone or?
Oh yeah. Ichi's like holding it, and then we'll also kind of call out. Yes, we're down one of the tunnels.
Oh, shit, he's holding it.
What have you found?
Cool.
Yeah. Well,
is it the same color like as the?
Well, that's. You're saying this is it attached into the wall, or did it like come away?
No, you were able to sort of dig it out with your burrowing because it's fairly easy for you to just sort of very softly dig and yeah, it's maybe big.
Okay.
Wow.
For audience, it is a fist-sized, and it's not a.
It is a Dragon Ball.
It is a Dragon Ball. It is not an orb like this. It is sort of janky and jagged, and it is an uncut. Definitely, there's not been like somebody hasn't crafted this and buried it. It is. This seems to be like an almost unprocessed, uncut piece of whatever.
Oh yeah, color-wise, is it the same color as the purple?
No, not at all. It is almost a soft royal purple as opposed to the reddy pink.
Oh, you found a nice little gem.
Yeah, it just seems to be a nice little gem. The guards would sort of say, obviously, they sort of would catch up to where you are and say,
when they get up, the crystal's been like put in a bag.
They would say, well, did you? They say that you were looking to investigate. Have you found anything of interest? They say the tunnel has collapsed. Does it look like there's any way in?
We haven't found one.
Was collapsed.
No, we haven't found anything towards our investigation so far, but we have also been quite limited in the where we've managed to look.
Well, obviously it is getting late, and we are going to station some guards at the entrance, but it would be more helpful for us if there was nobody down here. Would you, if you wish to come back tomorrow, the mining guild should send some people with supports and the right equipment to dig through, and this happens. This is not unheard of. The miners know what to do when they are trapped within these tunnels. It should not be more than a day or two before we get to them.
Right.
If you wish to assist, please do come back in the morning. We will be, obviously we will need to sign up and know who is going in and out, but volunteers and assistance is always welcome from the public. And they do seem fairly genuine, and they're not like forcing you out. They are just genuinely saying, like, if
they're
there's
like
people
encouraging
in here,
and ushering, it would be better.
And they're saying if there's people in here, they have to watch in here, right? They have to check on you. They have to make sure you're okay and that nothing else is happening. If they know nobody is in here, they can seal the door, put two guards on the door, and call it at that for the night.
We've not seen anything, have we?
Nothing suspicious, nothing that throws your attention, nothing that screams fiend or fiendish anything.
And is it quite late now, Liam? What time is it?
It would be 11 o'clock. I would say, no, let's say 10:30ish. You maybe spent an hour giving a good search around all the different tunnels and all the different areas. So it's getting pretty late.
Should we call it a night then?
We should
Yes.
regroup for tomorrow. We can try and help. We've got the parade, and your friend is back in town soon.
Perhaps Sir Arthur.
They're back in town after the race, I believe.
Yeah, the day after. The final day of the festival is the announcements and the ceremonial handing over and the official end of the Lyrics and Arcanum's rule.
I mean, perhaps I can check again when we're more towards the rust bucket and see if I still have that ping of the fiends. Like I said, they might not be in here. They might be elsewhere in the city.
That would be helpful.
Okay. You make your way out and begin making your way down the streets and heading towards the rust bucket.
I want to do it again, half a mile from where I was. So I want to sort of, when I first did it outside the mine, I want to get half a mile, ping again, and then another mile, ping again. Do you know what I mean? Just to see if I'm still picking up 4, or is it getting more or less?
Okay. So you get to your first point, and you're burning. You've got spells to burn, don't you?
Because primeval awareness.
I'm pretty sure you burn a spell slot for minutes. No, I'm pretty sure. Have a quick look to be certain. But
as an action, I can expend 1 ranger spell slot, 1 minute per level of spell slot. So yeah,
this is it. It lasts an amount of time as well, so you would be able to put it on and walk a distance. And
so yeah, I'm gonna just I've already done it once, so I'm just gonna do it 2 more times.
I would say from that you would be able to discern that. So some of them might have been from that area. As you get to your first point, you ping it, and there's 3, and you walk for maybe a minute, and in that minute it drops to 2. And then you're walking
because now I'm more than a mile from the mine.
But also they might be back in that area just outside the mine or that sort of thing, right? So it's not ruled it completely out.
Yeah.
But then as you walk and get closer to the rust bucket, where you are definitely outside of that range, you ping and there is still 1. And again, you ping elemental fiend.
And I would be telling Ichi, and I'd tell the whole group.
It's good to know that there's at least some in the proximity of the mine.
But perhaps
worrying that there's 1 still within that radius.
I don't think we're going to find them tonight, though, unless they come looking for us.
With that, I am going to pop a. Am I going to do Divine Sense, or am I just going to cast the full spell? Let's see. Divine Sense is 60 feet. Detect Good and Evil is 30 feet. I will go for a Divine Sense as we're outside of the rust bucket, and I will get 60 feet just in case there is a fiend tailing us.
Okay. You ping off your sense, and you do not sense any fiends in the vicinity.
Any celestial undead within 60 feet?
No.
Okay. Just in case. I know you would have picked it up on your primeval, but just in case.
Yeah.
In that 2 seconds,
Yeah.
it teleported in.
Or just in case Liam was like, they haven't specifically asked about that particular kind of creature.
I would never be that specific.
Yes, you would.
No, I'm always very honest about rules as written. But yeah, so you head on in. You're able to grab some food. As you're getting some food, Alara behind the bar would say, "Oh, a letter came for. You did say Chaotic Embers would be your race name, yes? They put forward again. It's a gold envelope with Chaotic Embers across it, and they would hand it over to you as you're getting your food. Opening it up, it would say that you need to bring your vehicle down to the Colosseum by midday. They ask that you obscure your vehicle for the big reveal on the parade. They don't want people to see it before the actual event. It does say vehicles will be lightly inspected just for any altering, magical tampering, the sort of like those sorts of things. And then the parade will be at 1:30. After which we will continue an announcement. You are welcome to take your vehicles back to your stations, and then we will need you down at the Colosseum for 9 a.m. on the day of the race. It does say on there that you can store your vehicle. They can store your vehicle for you close to the Colosseum if you wish, but you're also welcome to use your own. And yeah, you'll be able to get a meal.
Okay.
Hell of a day.
Hell of a day.
Mm.
Hell of a couple of
That
days.
is. We've got a lot of threads, but none of them necessarily seem to be tying together so far. They're all of the same color. We just can't
Kind of
seem.
purplish.
No.
I can help.
Can't.
I'll hold up my weaving sticks.
Oh, sorry, no, figurative threads, but thank you.
I did have another thought, Volu. I know that you were really worried about the halfling that sold you the thread. And then I think we've been distracted. I don't know if there's a way of finding her. I don't have any kind of magic that can locate her or the threads she was selling or the...
If she's within 1,000 feet, I should be able to track at least something that was on her. But I was there when she was wandering around the tavern, wasn't I?
Yeah, you were upstairs with Dante, unfortunately.
Ah, never mind then.
It was when Eleni had come up and found flaming
I thought we've seen her twice though.
No. So you guys went upstairs.
You saw another halfling street child.
That
was with the Goliath and
they were messing around with the Zikar.
They were the ones that were messing with the Zikar and messing with the dog.
Yeah.
As soon as you said that, I was like, no, I'm getting these two confused.
Yeah, you guys had gone upstairs.
Never
I'd
mind.
come up after you, and then I came down and saw it from the stairs. Volu was the only one who really spoke to her and had any
Yeah,
interaction.
I was at my own at the bar.
Chatting people up at the bar. You all know what Volu's like.
If it
So
involves food as string, then I'm in.
You know the old adage of the way to a man's heart is through his belly. Volo is the antithesis of this.
Yeah.
And there's me who just thought he strung people along.
Oh, Chris, it's bad.
Ah,
So yeah, so I don't know. I mean, we don't have like a locate object or anything like that, do we? That
Not
well,
currently.
okay.
We can
I
try
still-
tomorrow.
is
so.
that within your repertoire?
I still think it could be just as much of a trick or a ploy.
But if we tie the loose end, then we can eliminate that.
It would be interesting to know who actually, if she is who she looked like, who gave her those threads to sell.
I feel like as a group, if we weren't called Chaotic Embers, we should just be called Endless Loose Ends.
Honestly, the amount of times that we're not even like endless loose ends. We're just like connecting the dots. Like
I thought I was bad bringing back up Dimitri as well.
Yeah,
Just
I didn't even
randomly
remember who
bringing
that
one.
was.
Really, just randomly
But-
bringing that up, and I thought, it seems like a
She,
good
I mean,
she, she was still in my mind. It was just the quasit problem
Yeah.
was immediate.
It's only yesterday when Volu was very,
yeah.
very worried about her.
Yeah, and then I've been covered in quasit blood for most of the day. So forgive me.
That can be distracting.
Yeah, I can try tomorrow. I'll reconcentrate and prepare some things tonight, and I should be able to maybe try tomorrow, and we can go. Hopefully, maybe she's going where we're going.
I mean, tomorrow's good anyway because we're not planning on leaving tonight. If we were heading back out,
Can I ask a game question, Liam? So sending.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about how Crit Roll use sending, because they've done sending to people
Yeah,
we've never met.
I don't go quite as wide as people you've never met. Familiar to me though is a weird term because it can mean familiar as in you've like met and you know them really well, or you've studied them really well, right? Like both, you can be familiar with an actor that you've never met. But
stalking, Liam.
yeah, I'm just saying, right? Like it's possible. So it's a weird term. However, it depends what you're going for. Let me know and I'll tell you if I think it works or not.
No, I was just thinking that Volu did speak to her. He had a conversation. He was.
I think Volu
could.
I think Volu could send him.
I don't think he has sending, does he?
I do have sending. I have no.
It might not be prepared right now, but I'm
okay.
Could he just sending to her?
He has it. He just has no spell slots.
I sent a message this morning to Volkov, and then I did the spell magic, so I've got no third levels.
So now I just wanted to check because I think, like I said, I think I've seen in other places they've used sending that way.
Yeah, I was going to either do that or locate object, but I need to spend the night preparing it.
Okay.
I mean, sending would be difficult because obviously the moment she gets the message, she would know we're looking for her.
But also, it'd tell us if she's there and if she's her potentially. I don't know. If that was a disguise, or if that was like an alter self, or if it was the shape change.
I would say and you would know this, Volu. If that was if that was a disguise, you're not familiar with them. It won't go to anyone.
That was what I was going to ask.
If it's a pure illusion, you do not know that and if that person is fully
I'm not
made up and
familiar, yeah.
everything, then that is a nowhere place. You can't target it. So you would get that.
Eleni's still got a little bit of a thread, hasn't she? She pocketed some. So.
Yeah.
So you can try that tomorrow in the morning, and then we can see where we can go from there.
Cool.
Volu just wants a night where he's not got night terrors, because for some reason he's not allowed to have a good night's rest.
Yeah, for good reason. You'd be too powerful if you had a good night's sleep. A full belly and a good night's sleep? Can't allow it. One or the other.
Be fair, our DM
Dante just keeps coming to me in the dreams. Leave me alone, Dante.
To be fair, our DM does love torturing clerics, apparently, and their sleep.
Right, I mean, clerics are the perfect one to have visions.
Yeah.
That's just
yeah.
That's
I mean,
just,
I think it's just
night,
torturing people called Chris, to be honest. I think.
yeah. And yeah, I mean, and to be fair, as is anyone wanting to do anything before you head up to bed?
Other than my usual routine of alarming, I can do 2. So I would probably alarm our door and theirs.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything from the others? Are you doing the full bed shackle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Buying dinner first.
Yeah, it's going to have to be. There's
In
too
fact,
much uncertainty.
I'd actually want him to.
Do it.
Stop.
That's not what I meant, but there's
No.
other way of saying it.
Are we cutting this bit?
As say, like, I would just say, as say he's, you know,
the shackles.
as I'm being like sorted out, that's still not good. So yeah. Whilst we're preparing for the night, Dante does look to Ichi and just kind of go, he gave me a choice.
What was it?
You don't know. He said it would cost me. I ignored him.
It's definitely the right decision, especially if they're not telling you what it would cost. But even if they did, probably still wouldn't be worth it.
It would not. In my mind, that man will die. But I will not choose to, I will not bargain with that thing.
There is something good that came from that, though. If he was all powerful as he wants us to think, he wouldn't need to bargain with you.
I saw through his eyes, I think, again. I saw a female Afriji racked with the affliction. He knows what to do.
I mean, isn't that why he wants to conquer this world, so he can burn it and recreate his old one? So this is specifically what happened to him. This has happened before.
Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. I really don't care.
It's not about caring. Caring you should do, because it influences what we do.
Then know this. I will never agree to help him.
I know.
And even at the point of suffering of others, I will not help him.
I know.
Just so we are on the same page.
Hands to the waist.
But yeah, you would be able to bind and head to get a long rest. Now, I don't know if Chris just foresaw things, but I'm not actually picking on the cleric tonight, Chris. I'm just picking on you.
Yay!
Because as you drift off into sleep,
I'm so glad we bound you.
You are what you feel as is actually dreaming. Like it genuinely feels like a dream. But as at some point in the night you were dreaming about being in your shop and making the journey with your wares and the general life you used to have. And at points, almost like film playing over the top of each other. So like if you imagine your carts moving across an open plain and then in the background, suddenly a fiery city sort of flickers and then it fades again. It's almost like the dreams of both interweaving into each other. And you do see all of a sudden the dream, like when your dream changes location, but you don't really place when or how it changed, all of a sudden you're just not where you were before. And your cart is gone and you're now stood in a city of brass and gold and silver and the red brick stone pathways in between these grand shining buildings, and covering all of them these purple red pustules with veins and outstretching like tendrils leading off the infection. The land itself becoming almost twisted and warped, and flying around in the air you notice not quasits but quasit shaped flame creatures, almost like fiery imps but almost entirely made of flame and bursting at the seams with energy. Again, the dream flickers back to you with your child and your wife, and you're in your home, in your one of the winters your child got sick and you remember making the long journey to get medicine and bringing it back and nursing them to health. And again, as you're looking down upon your sick child, there's flickers and your child's face almost half cut with, again, this Afriti child face. And then the Afriti wife that you saw earlier flickering over. And as you stand in as the two dreams almost flickering and paralleling each other, and then as your dream of your daughter came back to health and you were able to, you almost have that vision of seeing her running and laughing and playing again the first summer after that long winter where you weren't sure if they were going to make it. And in the flickering side, you see brass and golden tombstones. The words not discernible, but the scratchings. The city around on that side no longer filled with the pustules and veins, but this too, almost it looks like it's in a garden of a mansion. There are two standing, one made of a brass that seems smaller and a larger golden one. And you wake up in the morning. You can all check off a long rest.
Thank you.
Nante, when you wake, it's not feverishly like waking up, but you are drenched. You have been sweating and almost like those mornings when you wake up just like you probably in this heat every morning at the moment. But even though it's fairly cool in the air, you can feel the breeze coming in from outside. You are just soaking wet as if you've been sweating all night.
What are the shackles like?
Still tied. Still
But I meant, are they hot?
They don't seem it. They're not like hot to the touch. There's no clear burn marks or scorches. There's no blackening or anything like that. Each year you would hear the sort of shifting of there's as Dante goes to just naturally morning stretch and the chains go tight. Each you would hear that movement.
Dante,
Yes.
how was your night?
Interesting.
In what way?
I'm seeing more of what happened to the other plane.
Oh,
We need to. I think the quasits are being created by from the people.
I mean, they're no longer when they die, they die. They don't go back to any planes, so they're definitely becoming of the world. So I guess from the people.
Well, because there were similar things in the other plane, but they were fire.
Oh,
As in, if they had come from the creatures in that plane.
fire plane home quasits.
Have you ever heard the story about an alien that would have a face that would grab onto someone's face and impregnate the host?
What stories were they telling you 300 years ago?
Just Alien and the Ripley.
No, I'm not familiar with these.
But the long story short, the creatures that spawned out of the host took the traits of the host.
Like hybrids, still the nature of the creature, but born of that flesh.
Yes.
Well, I suppose that explains why they're coming from humans and how they're, well, from people of this world, and why they don't seem to disappear when they die. Oh, this is going to be a long few days.
Don't worry. We have a race to win.
Yes.
And as they say that and the other two wake up, you would actually hear a much louder, like, chorus of music. With you guys getting to bed so late, you wake up a little bit later in the day, and you would hear that only like 9. You've been getting up fairly early for all your other festival goings on, but you can hear that the performance section of the festival is in full swing. You can hear multiple different kinds of music chorusing through the streets, and even from your, like, this is a fairly close place considering for most of the city, but you're still a good distance away. But you can hear it's a much more loud, rambunctious day than the other days have been.
Suppose we need to get to a festival.
Pick up our car.
We need to get our
Yes.
car and get it down to the Colosseum by midday, don't we?
That we do.
So I'm thinking I drive it with a hood over the car.
Are you sure after parking next to the temple?
It proves the fact that I don't need to see to drive.
And to be fair, you that car's still just at the temple, like, because you walked down to the mines and then definitely forgot about it after your exploits in the mine.
Yeah.
That wasn't our car though.
No, it was the just belonged to Thaddeus.
But that means
It's on the way back.
I was going to say that means we can actually visit the temple, grab that car, and use that car to get up to our car, can't we?
If they haven't come and collected it already in the night.
If it hasn't been like,
Yeah. No,
I was
and
going to
I will
say towed
say,
or like.
and I don't know if people
Don't
want
worry,
to make a bit of a
in there.
yeah, and I don't know if people want to make a bit of a detour via the mine if you're interested at all. As you make your way up towards.
Did you want to have a look at that thread, Eleni?
Yes, I would reach into my pocket and pull out, and it's just one tiny bit of the thread because I'm quite aware that it's dangerous.
Okay, in that case, I shall take it. In my pocket, I have some twigs and leaves, so I'll pull out a twig that's a bit forked. And
I hate when you find those like forked things.
Shush, interrupted.
I wish when you swatted, then it would just swat the camera. In fact, so you take the twig and cast it over, and do a locate. Locate.
Okay, so you're locating object. So let me just look at the exact. You can see direction, movement.
It says it in the Roll20,
Yeah.
Liam.
I think it points it to direction, doesn't it?
Yeah, you
So
can
you sense
follow
as long
it.
as it's within. If it's in motion, you know the direction. You can locate a specific object. Alternatively, you can do the locate the nearest one, and it will last 10 minutes. So you pick up 4 sources. Or is it within 1,000 of you?
Okay.
One of them is over on your shelf, but over towards the old mine. Not in the old mine, but that direction, right? Because again, this is 1,000 foot, so you're definitely not reaching to the mine, but the east side of the forge ward, lower shelf.
Okay.
The other ones are almost coming down from towards the crucible area.
All the other 3.
Yeah, more towards the festivities and such. And they are moving. Wait, sorry. The one in the forge ward is stationary. The other 3 are moving slowly. And as you sort of sit and wait, it's almost like somebody's just strolling. Like it's like a very slow walk. They stop occasionally, then it moves a little bit again, and they stop again. They're like, one of them would in 1 or 2 minutes head out of the exit. Like it looks like they're heading towards the actual performances and stuff, but that is out of your
reach.
Out of your reach. So you will over this 10 minutes, unless you get up and follow immediately. Over this 10 minutes, they would slowly begin to leave that 1,000 foot mark.
There seems to be more of this about, and it seems to be heading towards the performances.
That's good to know. Perhaps you could do that again while we're in the parade. Might be able to get closer.
If we do see something though, what are we going to do about it? We can't just jump out of the car in the middle of the parade to hunt somebody down with a piece of thread.
I mean,
we could, but
as long as all of us don't.
Could.
Yeah.
And who's to say that all 4 of us need to be in the parade from the beginning anyway?
That's true.
You would know you're kind of supposed to be, but also you are open to try and deceive and such. But yeah, you would very easily be able to finish up there. Sorry, go on.
Can you show us on the map, Liam, whereabouts the first one was?
Because we're near the bottom shelf of the forge.
Because we're at the north end of the forge ward.
Yeah,
lower
so
back,
it was over this way, like in this block here.
So it's not that far. So actually, do we want to try and go past there and then head up?
Yeah,
it's only a little bit out of our way, isn't it?
It's 1,000 feet, so it's not that big of a distance, obviously.
Yeah, we could maybe head that way and then head back up towards the chantry to get that car, and then go and get our car.
Yeah, because all the performances are in the main crucible bit, aren't they? So we'll be basically cutting them off.
And we'll be taking. Then we've got to take our car down to the Colosseum anyway.
Okay. You get some food, quickly and then set off and make your way through the streets. Volu, you would by the time you get close to the location, you would need to cast again, as it would have faded that first 10 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I will cast again.
Okay, so you've got with another 10 minutes, you would very easily then from this point be able to locate it as you move down the streets and you come to an area that's like it's slightly larger, more spaced houses. And there is a block of houses that seem quite old, heavily decorated on the outside with adornings. You can see that there's almost like a large communal space in between the houses with a large communal forge and oven. And it's almost like a contained little block of houses. And in that house on the second floor, and it looks like a normal residential house, it doesn't look anything like it's not a shop or anything. There is a piece of this string. It's not moving, completely stationary, and it hasn't moved the whole time you were moving around and coming towards it. You look around, doesn't look like anybody's.
How high is the window up?
So the next window up would be probably about 10, 15 feet.
So if I was to get on Eleni's shoulders, I'd be able to.
I could give you a boost, couldn't I?
You'd maybe have to hop up the last bit, but you could definitely.
But I could.
Yeah, definitely try and take a peek. So give me an advantaged athletics as and what are the other two doing as Eleni just hoists Volu up into the air?
Keeping an eye out.
Okay, give me a perception.
19.
24.
5.
Okay. So Ichi, keeping a good eye out. The streets do seem very, very clear. Again, with this, you can hear the occasional dings and rings of people still at work, but the majority of people are currently down in the center, enjoying the festivities and waiting to see, signs, try and spot some of the race cars being brought down. For Volu, you're sort of hoisted up and you pull yourself up to the window and peek through, and it seems to be like a master bedroom. You can see that there is a fairly not grand in the it's not like a 4-poster, but it's a fairly large, well-made, well-looked after bed. It seems like handcrafted. It's like wooden, handcrafted. There is where you're getting the ping from is a very large cupboard. It's like a wardrobe.
Okay. Can I quickly scan about the room? Check
Doesn't seem like it yet. Well, so you actually trying to because the window isn't open? Are you trying to
Oh, sorry.
You're outside the glass basically. You're
peeking in.
Okay. Let's see if I can try and lift the window.
Okay, give me a sleight of hand.
8.
So it's not locked, but you're trying to lift, and it is latched. So you're trying to slide under and trying to lift the latch, and it doesn't seem to be moving. It sort of rattles a little bit. As it does, you notice that inside a cat jumps up onto the bed and sort of inspects what's going on before curling up in a ball and lying down on the bed, staring at the window.
Well, okay. I'm gonna try and speak to the cat.
Okay.
Okay. I cast speak with animals.
Okay.
Just throwing out there, that is probably my most favorite spell in Baldur's Gate.
I love speak with animals.
So I'll be like.
The urge to just be like, "Express yourself, bitch."
It's a really pissed off house cat.
They just sort of look in your direction. Yes, what? What do you want? You've disturbed my sleep with all your rattling.
And it'd be easier to talk without the window. Can you move the latch?
Give me a disadvantage persuasion as they look, and with your passive insight, this cat is tired. The window's all the way over there.
I get that. I feel this cat.
Yeah.
They're looking like it would be easier, but I don't really want to talk to you.
I will berate you for the next 10 minutes if you don't.
And they like get up, stretch. They like take 2 steps over towards the window before hopping down off the bed and out the room and out of sight.
This is why I hate cats.
As you're doing this, Ichi, you would spot them well before that it's a major problem. But somebody on like a neighboring street does sort of poke their head out and sort of like they almost see you eat first, Ichi, and go like, Lady Treetharth is not in today. They are down at the festival. You shouldn't just be poking around their home. They can't currently see like Volu, but they're sort of like you have been standing here 2 or 3 minutes, and they just sort of like they sort of see Ichi and Dante, and they would you like me to leave a message or something? And they are approaching Ichi, but you've seen them before they get into view of Volu and Eleni.
Oh God. Oh, no worries. Thank you very much. Sorry, we didn't really lost track of time there.
So for Eleni and Volu, you would see Don. You would have heard the voice, and then see Ichi immediately start speaking.
I would start gently lowering Volu down.
Well, like I said, they are going to be. They are actually down in the center. They are one of the assistants that helps out. So Volu, you will remember obviously there was a tabaxi assistant that was like managing the thing. You don't think that's them, but there were a number of them around. For your notes, that's Treetharth. So TREE THARTH.
Okay.
Treetharth.
Cool.
Well, like I said, I can tell her that you called, or you will likely find her. They are going. They should be announcing part of the winners. So again, for you guys, if you imagine that things go on almost at the same time. So while one of the people managing the stage stuff, your person will be managing you into getting ready for the parade, right? Like, so there are a number of these people around the festival almost like working in sync with each other. But they say, yes, she is going to be on the main stage announcing the winners for today's performance contests.
Oh, lovely. I don't actually think we have time to attend that. We're going to be partaking in the parade of vehicles for the doomhakre.
You are racers? What is your team name? And they will now fully step into view and see the rest of you. And but you're obviously now sort of stood like you're waiting on the doorstep. And they, I shouldn't think you should wait around here. Then is the parade is going to in a few hours, no?
Oh no, yeah, we were just waiting for my companion here, and I'll gesture down to Volu. This was just where we agreed to meet because we were all familiar with the area. Right, come on, team. We're the Chaotic Embers.
Okay, well, I will look for you in the parade, and you would be able to head on away. Again, Volu, that ping is stationary in place. Now it is up to you how long you want to spend on this. The size of the city does mean moving it. You are going to need an hour at least to get up, get the vehicle, get it down.
What time is it now?
It's
locked in
maybe
the cupboard.
about 9:30. So you've got like
We not stop at breakfast.
Yeah, he said we had breakfast.
yeah, but so
And we woke up at 9.
yeah, it's not half an hour,
we
like,
shoveled food down, and
these are
this
my
place
times.
is not far away.
This place is like right next to where we were staying.
Yeah, so this is you just left, right? Like essentially, and got here, and we're maybe 35. Again, I do rough times because I don't think you'll be able to tell that it's 45 minutes past. You know, like.
I think
we don't have watches and stuff. But
I think we should go and get the car. I think we should go and get it.
I'll say that it's locked away in a cupboard. So
what that would tell you though, Volu, is you think that it's in clothing already or in something already. Like the cupboard that you saw wasn't like shelves and drawers sorts of things.
No,
it was
like a wardrobe,
a hanging wardrobe. And around the positioning, it was like you're almost feeling like it's something embroidered on the left lower side of something, or it's in a pocket in there, but you think it's definitely in the clothing.
Yeah, still suspicious, but it's locked away and it hasn't moved at all. So
not at all.
Okay.
You would be able to then continue your journey up. You would you would be able to see less of making a detour close to the mine, but you would see once you hit the main street around the mines that there is a lot more presence. There is teams of people. You can see people sort of fetching and moving dirt. They're almost like beginning slow shifting of some of the smaller rubble. And there's like some of the garden spaces are being used as like collection points where they're taking the dirt to, and then it's being like collected up in large sheets, and you wouldn't stick around to see, but it seems like the city officials are aware and doing something about the goings on.
Good.
You would be able to pick up your vehicle and head up to the Zenith Ward. And as you arrive to the gates of what's the name now? Cloud Glass Slabs.
Yeah.
You would actually see that, or like through the fence, and like it's not like at the gate, but it's in the, you know, like I was saying, you drive up and it leads to like a place where you would sort of set your carts and your vehicles. There is a very large floating platform that has a suspiciously vehicle-shaped bumpy tarp and big ropes like tying something down parked there. Like it is ready to go, but he has boxed it up because he assumed that you were just going to float it down there on the
it's a good assumption.
Upon arrival, you would be let in. They would almost open the gates when seeing the vehicle, and then as you arrive, they say, Master Thaddeus has prepared any food and drinks if you need to refresh yourself. There is also a place to freshen up if you need to be ready for the parade. I do not know what preparations you are making. There is a little bit of a buzz of, and again, for you guys, the parade isn't that big a deal. For the Cloud Glass, this is actually where they, announce their reputation. This is actually the important bit for them. This is where they're going to do schmoozing and talking to people. And when the parade goes, they're probably going to be pointing out their new vehicle to. So there's almost an air of like, are you ready? Do you need anything? And like they're
Have we actually decorated this car in any way?
No, it's so plain.
However, I did say that you had time, that you could, and that you would have had time to, but I also didn't want to put us on the spot and pause.
I've got an idea.
Pause us for like while you think of stuff. So, I will say that and there is time. So you would have got up here by about 10 o'clock. You know that it's going to take about 40-50 minutes to get down. So you've got some time if you want to do a few.
I was just thinking, do Cloud Glass not want us to have their logo somewhere, right?
Well, it does have the Cloud Glass logo because this is the shell of a cloud coach. So it has on the original plating their symbol. But other than that, there are no no major
What were you thinking,
decorations.
Paul?
Well, I'd pull out some leftover ruby dust that I was lacing the bread with, but I'll then outline a pattern on the side of the car that says chaotic embers. And it will stay like that for now, but then when we go in the parade, I'll activate.
Okay.
Brilliant.
Very nice. Thaddeus is abuzz with excitement. They're like, I can't wait to see it drive. When is it tomorrow already? Anything that I could get for you, prepare for you. My sister has said any expenses. So if you need something to make yourself feel at ease or comforted for the parade ahead, please do abuse that. They like walk off. Obviously, you would know it's within reason, but they will, like, if you're like asking for a full course meal, they'll get it for you, like that sort of vibe. If you want a specific drink, they'll find it.
That's probably dangerous to say to Volu, isn't it? It's like...
Yeah, and there is a normal spread. There is a normal spread of already like breakfasty things, but he's very clear about like my sister likes to go all out on these things, and there will be some sponsors and some people looking at the vehicle. So obviously, make a bit of a show, I suppose, and also, though, it is a very good chance to get to look at our competition. All of the other sponsors will be there. So my sister is ready to schmooze and do all the political things that she likes to do. New networks and connections and all that.
I've just also thought as well, though, because we've not made any effort here at all about, we're not dressing up in any way, are we? We're not going all out in that sense.
We're just going to look amazing.
Mm-hmm. I got a plan. It's gonna look cool.
And it is up to you. Obviously, hey Lenny, you can change your duster and stuff. You know, obviously, you've seen the cloud glass uniform, so you know they're like almost like blacks and blues colors.
Okay.
If you wish to match that sort of vibe, but obviously, chaotic embers lends itself to reds and all that sort of stuff.
So we drop off the car. How long do we have between the car and the festival? The
parade, about an hour. There is they do a check. They want to check over it and make sure that there is no tampering, no illegal magic, all that sort of stuff.
So we have to get it to the Coliseum by midday. They then inspect it, and the parade's at 1:30.
Mm-hmm.
Is there enough time for us to get, if they want us to look apart, get a tailor, not a tailor, but be like, this works well with you and works well with you. Make us.
So as you're sort of saying this, Thaddeus would say,
montage.
I mean, full suits, maybe not, but something between, I don't know these things. Get my sister and ask her about a tailor. And somebody rushes off. Essentially, what I will say is they definitely can't do you like all matching suits, but they can get you the majority of everyone has the top half the same. Everyone has a mask or adornings that are all the same.
Or a hat or a scarf or something.
I'm saying it just has to be accessories. It doesn't have to
This is it. Like, they can either provide you like jackets, essentially, or they can provide like cloaks, or they can go with something that's more hats and scarves and adornings so that you all match in. Because like for Dante, even they sort of say they could just replace your gloves and your almost like protected, not the protective bits, but the in-between bits with the right color, for example. Depends how all out you want to go. You could all also be like,
I would love to say we would could just look really amazing in that, but Dante wouldn't. So
just red capes, so that as we're going,
I can imagine Chris is thinking like Princess Diaries, where they'll have him behind the cover, and then there's like a fitting new Dante, and it'll come out, and they'll be like.
To be fair though, Dante, when you sat in the seat,
I've not seen Princess Diaries, so I don't know.
I actually think they would Potentially, it's not like protective helmet. It kind of is, but it's not in terms of it doesn't provide AC. But a helmet would make sense as the driver, as actually all they can see from you is your shoulders up, and the gloves, right? They'd see the like steering wheel gloves and
I mean,
hat motif. And
I
again,
am
if you want to
happy.
go other coverings,
I'm happy to just make my coat, and I'm
match
thinking,
whatever they have.
well, I'm actually thinking if it's blacks and blues, I could do black with blue sort of trims and stuff. But then I would like some kind of chaotic embers in red or something, maybe across the back.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah,
I've got a joke, and then I've just another thing. But I've just got an idea of when we're on the flow of, say, the classic version of Aladdin when he make way for Prince Ali.
Yeah,
just make way for. just imagine us just kind of coming in and just be like, yeah.
Sadly, we don't have. Well, we do have an all-powerful
you do have
but
a genie.
he's not necessarily going to be running around making us look cool. He's going to be there like, hey, Dante, it would be a shame if you kicked that kid.
But yeah, so I would say over the next hour or so in the time that you've got before you need to get down there, they would be able to provide each of you with something that you wanted. Like I said, it can be as basic as just face coverings, lower mask areas, scarves, or whatever you fancy. Feel free to just add those to your characters as custom items.
Okay.
And they are high quality, so obviously it's like they're finally made, right? Like quickly made, but finally made.
I'm gonna have. I will have a helmet, but something that also has like kind of a visor and a mouth kind of things.
I was thinking actually face like a scarf or something, because I'm thinking again it could be dusty.
Yeah.
So something that we can.
Yeah, you could all have matching,
Yeah.
like almost face, like the sand scarves that they have.
Yes.
Almost like a meshy style that's going to catch all the thicker particles.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Cool.
Okay. Easily done. And eventually, is there any food specifically requested, or just going off the usual spread?
Just help myself to
going off usual, yeah.
Okay. And the when you're sort of you begin to make the procession down, they're not moving subtly as such. There is two cloud coaches straddling, flanking front and back of this large moving what do I want to call it?
Platform.
Sorry, it's a platform, but I was gonna say
Barge.
like loading platform,
like a
almost
flatbed without the car, isn't it?
And almost there's like rope connecting the two, so it's like you drive in between. Thaddeus would say to you guys, you can either join in the coach, or they are going to have a few attendants on the actual either side of the platform to stop anybody getting near it or trying to look under or whatever. But you would be able to make your way down. For the first section, you're attracting a bit of attention, but it's fairly clear up here. As you descend and actually lower from the Forge Ward into the Crucible, it's quiet for a moment before the first few people notice you. And before long, you are swarmed with people who are again, keeping distance, but you can hear the talking. You would notice this. I was like, you would hear almost a few people chaotic embers flying a vehicle without fire jokes, and there's some cast-offs and some definite thinking that that you are definitely not in the runnings, and even a little bit the crowd disperses. While there's definitely still holding an attention of people that are just interested. Those that are you can tell that are maybe here for the betting, or maybe here to see the big champions, they sort of fade off and leave you to finish your journey to the Colosseum. Upon arriving, papers are shown by Thaddeus, and you are let into the Colosseum that is a closed off, guarded area right now. Heading through, it's the first time that you get to sort of see into the inner like skeleton of this ancient ruins. And as you're like moving through the almost entrance tunnel into the central arena, you can look up and see the scattered staircases and steps and frames of timber that used to hold this gigantic building aloft before exiting out into the open space. When you initially arrive, you are the 5th to arrive. In front of you, though you won't get any names just this moment. Oh, I will move you to this one just so that you can see people. So the 4 that are already there, you would see the Azure Flyer has been painted a sapphire blue color, and currently has Moon Shadow Jr. sat in the main driver's seat, and you would see the gnome Tabitha sat in the chair that you know that like extends out upwards. You would see the Dragon's Fire that you you've seen on the poster but didn't notice before. This thing is a tank. Literally imagine that they've taken a cart and just turned the walls into metal, and sticking out the front of it is a very large cannon.
Which one's that, Liam?
The Dragon's Fire.
Ah, okay, Dragon's Fire.
And when I say large cannon, I am talking large enough that Volu could climb in it. This is a very large ship, like vehicle to vehicle cannon. You're unable to see inside of it, and the only person you can see, you can hear them moving around inside, but the only person you can see is a elderly human with very tanned skin and almost grey, ashy, salt and pepper curly hair, sat in what is very clearly the driver's seat, but is in like a raised position. It's almost like it's still shielded, but it's almost on the very, very top of this armored thing. For Dante, you've been looking into and trying to like figure out about where engines and stuff is. They clearly went for like cover the engine in metal. But also you're imagining that a lot of the inside space will be taken up by the workings of the cannon. And you, who actually, I think actually only Eleni has seen full-blown cannons in action, and only at like parades and festivals. The kickback on this thing must be ridiculous. The other ones that are there, you would see the 2 vehicles from the Grey Wind Aether. The Sandstorm and the Desert Hopper. And those 2 are further down. So that is... Where did it go? My thing's been very slow, sorry.
I know the feeling.
And to be clear, we are wrapping up soon.
I was about to say,
we are very close.
I'm pretty much done.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, my internet's being really slow for some reason. But so you would see the much sleeker single person Sandstorm that currently has a water ganassi sat inside of it. And the Desert Hopper that seems to have 3 riders. It's modded similarly to yours, so it's a very similar style to the others that you've seen, but it has like a singular front rider and then 2 spaces rather than yours, which has been spread for like 3. Okay. You would see that there is a Azamar in the driver's seat, a halfling that you know to be Barter, sort of looking over the vehicle, and a half-orc sort of stood there.
Can you just ping on which one the Desert Hopper is, Liam?
I cannot, because my internet has...
Is it the one at the very bottom, or are these the 2 black ones?
So this is the 2 black ones. So this
Okay.
one here that is a T-shaped black one
Yeah.
is the sandstorm,
Yeah.
and the
Perfect.
Y-shaped one is the desert hopper.
Cool.
And as you sit and wait over the next section of time, your vehicles are inspected. The rest of the contestants arrive. You would notice that, and actually, one of the last things, Chris, could you actually roll me 2 D20s, please?
While he's rolling that, are we getting announced as we enter?
Yeah, so they're going to do the parade and they're going to announce each of the people,
Okay.
but they're announcing your vehicle, not each of your. They're not like announcing drivers.
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
riders and-
Have we
but-
already been announced?
No, no, no. So we're still
No.
in the stage where before the parade, there.
Right,
You
okay.
you arrived.
Turn
If you
14.
imagine that they're inspecting vehicles as people arrive, because it takes a bit of time.
Okay. Yeah,
So we're not on stage yet at all. We'll be we're still getting ready for that. So sorry,
Just let
that
us-
was a 10 and a 14. Okay, so Dante, at one point you actually noticed that one of the large cannon, the Dragonfire, that one gets inspected over, like properly looked at compared to the rest of the vehicles that sort of get a cursory. They're definitely using detect magic and other senses, see invisibility to make sure you're not using hidden, an extra rider or whatever, like all those sorts of things. But the Dragon's Fire one got like properly looked over by 2 or 3 different people. They didn't find anything, and there's almost like an anger from the riders. There's definitely like, you would tell that they're like, this is fucking bullshit, or that sort of vibe from them. And for Eleni, you would actually recognize all 3 of them. They have the skin colorings and accents of Yixen.
Okay.
So you think that all of these people are from Yixen and have traveled here for this.
Okay.
And as the attendant comes forward and says, please all get in your lines and get ready for the parade to begin, that is where we will end this week's session. Thank you very much for playing. As always, thank you very much for watching. If you're enjoying the story and you want to know what's happening next, hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell so you know when the videos are coming out. And as always, roll well. Bye.